Hey man, Hebron been Bilal coming back at you with another edition of this Boomer's Logic, man. So I just want to drop this quick video, man, in regard to this whole body count thing. It's starting to surge again, and, you know, the conversation's starting to be had again amongst these young YouTubers in regard to body counts and what's too much. Because now you got these black women coming out now with these new arguments about, you know, how men should want them to have a high body count by trying to get with them, cause experience and blah, 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 all this type of stuff, right? Which makes zero sense. But anyway, I'm going to give men the answer to the question, because the question that women are asking them, but they're not answering, is how many bodies is too many bodies? How many men, because all of them are going to have a different answer to the question, right? These young men. But there should be one standard across the board dealing with black men in this society. And I'm going to give you that absolute answer. And it should be one answer across the board, definitively, that y'all don't use in this society, but other societies use, right? But before I do that, man, if you haven't already, man, go to the channels, Boomer's Logic. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, thumbs up, thumb down, whatever. Comment, subscribe. You know what to do, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Listen, let me explain something to you. There's only one absolute answer to the body count question. And that's the hymen. If a female does not have her hymen intact, she's had too many men. It's simple as that. Men, you have to start to create a standard. And you're not creating a standard because you're not unified on anything. You continue to allow these women to beat the narrative. And you do it because of clicks, and views, because you always want to have these stupid conversations. This is a stupid conversation that y'all should have put to bed as men a long time ago. Y'all need to start standing up and creating standards in your community. See, these females, they want the high value men. They talk about settling and all this and this and this and this and this. I ain't gonna settle. My man has to have 100,000. He has to make 200,000. He has to make this, right? Okay, cool. So that's an unrealistic expectation to put on individuals in this society. That's like a 10% out type deal, right? So now y'all have to start to create your own standards. And one standard that you need to have in regard to this sexual immorality that's running rampant in your community, you need to have the standard of, if you ain't got your hymen, we ain't trying. Meaning, if you ain't a virgin, just in case you don't know what a hymen is that layer of skin that holds that blood back. And when a man penetrates a woman for the first time, he breaks that. And the blood flows out, right? So that should be the standard across the board. Body count be damned. The standard is, if you ain't intact, I don't want to marry you. I'm not bringing you into my house, bringing all those different spirits of all them different men that you laid with. I'm not trying to see if you're trustworthy. I'm not trying to, listen, let me explain something to you. And this is for any of you whores with these body counts who don't believe me. Look over to a man. I don't care if you don't know him. Pull him to the side and say, listen, who would you trust more? Or who do you value more? Or who would you want to be with? Would you want to be with Cardi B? Or would you want to be with a virgin that looks just as good as Cardi B, except she ain't got on all that garbage? This young lady here is 20, 25. And there are older virgins here. I just seen a YouTube video the other day with this, I think she was like 20, and they were amazed that she was a virgin. And she was explaining to him, because I haven't met a man who wants to wait. I value my body. I value my virginity. I've been taught this from a young age, and that was a good thing, right? And these people were amazed. But of course, there was a video made of the video where they were making, you know, comments about it, and the black women were laughing at her, and oh, something's wrong with her, and blah, blah, blah. Of course, because promiscuity is promoted and pushed. And If you ain't had at least 5 penises in you by the time you're 19, something's wrong with you. But the standard across the board, gentlemen, should be you need your hymen. If you ain't got that hymen, I ain't trying to check for you. Back to the Virgin versus Cardi B. Any woman look to a man right now and ask him, would you rather be with Halle Berry, Mary Halle Berry, Cardi B, whoever, name any bad female, or would you rather marry a virgin that's only been touched by you, that's only had intercourse with you, and she's, you know, on the same level of attractiveness? Now, make sure that you asking a cat who's a man. Don't turn to some dude whose drawers is hanging out of his pants. I don't care about his opinion. Because, see, all of y'all talking about y'all seeking after these high-value men, pull up one of these high-value men and ask him, who would you rather be with? He's going to tell you every time a virgin. There's value there. You whores running around here laying up with all these dudes want to argue the merits of value. You have no value because you don't have a hymen. That value has gone out the window when you started kicking them legs up for everybody. You have zero value. When you're dealing with men, a man will always tell you there's a sense of security with having a virgin. You know why? Because I was there first. I'm not competing with anybody. I'm not contending with anybody. I don't have to worry about babies, daddies, ex-boyfriends. I don't have to worry about any of that. I don't. Because guess what? She's with me. She knows nothing about sexuality. Everything that she learns, I teach her. I educate her. I'm the standard. You understand me? So everything goes through you. And that's the end of the argument. Y'all sitting here arguing about body counts. Every man in this society is going to have a different number. And then what's going to be crazy is when dudes watch this video, definitely the women, they're going to say, oh, that's an unrealistic standard. Why? Because you done had 5 jumps up in you already? Yeah, it's unrealistic for you. But for men, it's not unrealistic for us to set that standard. So I don't want any man saying, man, that's an unrealistic standard. Nah, no, it's not an unrealistic standard. You just lowered your standards. Where you'll say, yeah, because she gonna sleep with a bunch of people. So yeah, as long as she don't go past 5. Nah, you've lowered your standards because you don't have any standards. But I can guarantee you when you get in the room with them cats that got bread and you ask them the same question, because they have standards, they have value. And they know that they can get a virgin if they so choose, whether they got to go out the country. You know what I'm saying? There's virgins here. So when dealing with this whole body count thing, the standard needs to be erected that virginity is what men are seeking. Virginity is what men are seeking. To have these constant dialogues and conversations with whores, man. Y'all having conversations with whores. These women have been pounded. A hymen, they can't even remember when they had a hymen because they don't even got a bottom to their vagina. It's been blowed out. But you want to sit and have a conversation with these girls about their value and how many men is too many. That's the stupidest conversation. See, here's the problem. You men still have the power, but you're afraid to wield it. Because you're afraid to wield it, because you want likes, clicks, and views. So if you sit and you have these stupid conversations, instead of standing on something, and when a broad calls into your show or a broad stands up in the audience and y'all having these conversations, and she says, well, how many bodies is too many bodies? Do you have your hymen? No. Sit down, please. You've had too many bodies. Simple as that. The only exception to this rule is if a young lady was raped when she was young, because this happens a lot in this society. Or she was married and was divorced, or she was married and her husband died. That should be the only exception to the rules. As men, we need to start raising our standard. These whores are raising standards in regard to us. And it doesn't make sense. You got whores sleeping around Who running around talking about they got standards? That you got to have 6 figures, 7 figures. But she just, a dude just pulled up out of her and came to your podcast talking about how much money you got to have to be with her. Come on, man. Men, y'all still control the narrative. If y'all get on one accord about this and make the hymen great again, guess what? That's the new standard. You got to have that joint intact before I come checking for you, before I take you to Roof Crisp on a first date, Benny Hanna's or whatever, on a first date and spend a bunch of money on you. I got to know your value. When a woman has that hymen intact, that shows you a lot about her. It shows you that she's confident, number one. It shows you that she's a leader because she doesn't listen to Cardi B and she doesn't listen to Meg Thee Stallion and she doesn't listen to Sexy Red, you know, talking about her booty hole is black or brown or whatever. She don't listen to Kim Kardashian and tell her to go make a sex tape because she made one. She's standing on her morality, standing on the principles that were taught to her, and she's not being led around like a sheep by her nose, by a bunch of whores. She's looking at them and saying, whew, yeah, I don't want to live like that. Because she understands her value. Wouldn't you want a woman that's a leader? She has to be a leader, man. If she, like I said, this girl was on that podcast, and she was, like I said, I think she was 20. College student, beautiful, man, she was beautiful. College student, she wasn't showing cleavage, she didn't have a bunch of makeup on, you know what I mean? And she was talking about why she was a virgin. So once again, none of y'all really have a standard. Y'all all have an opinion in how many too many bodies is. But the standard needs to be, you need to have your hymen or we don't want you. See, we the high value men. You know what I'm saying? Most of y'all podcasters are high value dudes. And when these hoes sit across from you, you should tell them, just straight up. If you ain't got your hymen, you ain't worth my time. It ain't even worth, we don't even need to have a conversation. When you talk about y'all asking these females what they bring to the table, you don't need to ask them that. First thing you need to know, and all you need to know, you got your hymen. Oh, yeah, I'm a virgin. Okay, now we can talk. Let's sit down. You want to go out? Let's sit down and talk. Because that should be the number one prerequisite that us men have. Set a standard of value. Put it back in your community. Start educating these young women. Bring these virgins to the forefront. Get them on your shows. Y'all got all these whores on your show all day. These whores. So I seen the other day, it was a pastor. She on a dude's show talking about how she cheated on her husband. And she just on there giggling. And he on there, oh man, wow. This is the stuff that you got on there. You know what you should do with all these super platforms y'all got? Go find these virgins. They out there. Bring them on your podcast. Talk to them. Start a movement like that. All of y'all want to have these whores on there arguing about body counts. Bring these virgins on. Let these young girls see these virgins and say, wow, there is value. Bring some of these high value men on your show and say, hey man, she a virgin. Yeah. That's what's up. But you'll bring the high value men to sit in there and talk to these whores. Y'all make me sick, clown. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, make the hymen great again, man. Make it the standard in the black community. You ain't got your hymen, we don't want to deal with you. Go on over there with Pookie and them. They'll beat you to death. They'll pound you out. You know, so at the end of the day, you want to answer to the body count question. The question that needs to be asked is when they say, how many bodies is too many bodies? The question that should be asked is, do you got your hymen? No, I don't. You got too many bodies then. Simple as that. You got too many bodies. Simple as that. Well, man, I love y'all, man. I just wanted to drop this on y'all. I was just thinking about this today. Y'all have a good one. Shabbat shalom for whoever observing. And like I say, man, tell a friend to tell a friend. Hebron Ben Bilal with that boomer logic is right back at you again. Have a good one. Like, subscribe, and, bell notification.